I don't care what you say, that's a pretty cat. Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Ken Johnson. Today, well, fishing's been hard. Let's be honest. It has been really hard lately. We're not seeing the abundance of fish that we've seen in the past, and I'm doing every trick that I know, going fishing the forefront, fishing in a south wind, fishing east wind, low barometric pressure. I've tried everything and nothing's working. So part one of this video will be a planned trip that Ricky and I have made to do some night fishing for crappie, what we call speckled perch here in Florida, and also some catfish at a secret hole that I found that's absolutely gorgeous. If you haven't seen my video where I was talking about the hook that catches fish, the little hack on how to make an automatic flipping hook, watch that video. It's the same area, but Ricky could not be on that video that day as scheduled. He had to take care of some immediate business. And so finally, you know, I'll show that video now. And then we'll come back and I'll talk about day two. Alright, we're on the water. It's getting dark. I'm going to go ahead and set up the bush hooks. And then I'm going to try something that y'all probably haven't seen me do on this channel. Stay tuned. Okay, this is where things are going to get interesting. I borrowed this from my buddy Ricky Wallace at the Wallace Knife Works channel. And so this right here is a fishing light that we made together back, what, 10 years ago, something like that. And this right here is a little ammo can that he turned into a battery box. And so I'm going to hook this up and we're going to put it over side the boat. There we go. Got the light going on here. And now we're going to go ahead and rig up, try to catch the fish. Well, folks, we got our first fish of the day. I had that little Aberdeen trick hook that I've been doing, the automatic flip hook, and this catfish came up and hit the minnow at the light. So we got a catfish. So first fish of the day. It is hard for me to show this, but I have a heck of a loggerhead turtle here. Actually, alligator snapping turtle. These things are protected. It's like pulling up a freaking log. God almighty. Trying to bring him in where you can see him. I'm gonna have to get him off. Problem is, you gotta be careful because they can snap off a limb in a heartbeat. So I'm gonna get him out, get him off. I mean, they are gorgeous. I appreciate the opportunity to see you. Glad you're doing well. Other than that hook, let me try to help you with that and we'll get you on your way, sir. It is dropping, the temperature's dropping. It was 61 degrees just a minute ago. It is wet and cold, and I was hoping that maybe the crappie would be biting. What we call speckled perch here in Florida. They're not biting. Had a snapping turtle, alligator snapping turtle, what we call loggerhead, and a teeny tiny catfish, and that's all we've caught. I got about an hour and a half late start. I had some issues I had to attend to today. Seemed like every time I turned around, somebody's asked me not to go, begged me not to go, or there was issues that came up halting me from going. So I'm trying to persevere. Maybe we'll come out better on the other end of this. If something don't happen soon, the fishing light's not working, I may check our hooks, see what's going on there, you know, with the bush hooks. I'd hate for this to be a wasted fishing trip. So we're gonna see what we can do. Over there we got a tree shaker, guys, so let's see what we got. See what we got. Oh, we got a nice channel cat. All right, not bad. All right, let's get him took care of. All right, not a bad one. I'd say he's about 2 foot, more or less. Gonna get that hook out of his mouth, and we'll go on to the next one. Guys, while I would love to be out here and fish some more, it is getting super foggy. If I don't leave now, I will not be able to find my way back home safely. So I'm gonna go ahead and get all these lines up and get out of here. You gotta know when it's time to go. Notice I'm trying to get out of here, but I also want to teach y'all stuff. So catfish, what they'll do sometimes is wrap themselves around wood to kind of unhook themselves. And this line is wrapped all in that wood, so I may or may not have something in it, probably not. If I don't, it's because it wrapped up in the wood. Guys, I don't know if you can see it or not, but I do have a fish on. I've got a gar. Alrighty. See if we can get in, I'll show you the gar. Alright, this is a spotted gar. So we're going to take him home. So I just wanted to jump in here because I really didn't cover it in this next section here. So I just wanted to talk about what was going on. As I was taking out the gar, and if you'll notice, the gar, it's not one of the fish gar that we normally have with the real long noses. We do have a species here you have to be very careful for because it's a protected species called an alligator gar. And alligator gar, one of the things that is different in the spotted gar is that it doesn't have spots on its head. It's a different coloration. Also, the number of teeth is different. So you have to really understand the differences in these gars because some of them are protected. This was not a protected gar, so I kept it. But about this time, like I had mentioned before, the lighting was going out on the boat, and I've had some companies, this has been months back, that have reached out, various companies. Some do lighting. They're well known for like boat lighting and things of that nature. I've had several lithium battery companies, well known in the industry, reach out to me, all stating that they wanted me to be a brand ambassador for them. And I mean, I did paperwork, I did all the stuff that they required, and they were supposed to provide me lithium batteries for my boat. They never did. They're supposed to provide some new lights for the boat. They never did. And as such, I've got to now purchase some regular lead acid batteries because I can't afford a lithium battery, although I do want to replace all the batteries on my boat with lithium. I want to get a I want to get 3 lithium batteries for the boat. But at the time, right now, I only have 2 lead acid batteries, and one of them is starting to die on me. And so I was dealing with a battery that's dying, and also dealing with some lighting issues that I need to fix the lighting on the boat, and I'll have to do that later as well. And not only was I having to deal with that, I had a some fog roll in, and this fog, it was getting really thick, and like I said, it was cold, and because it was cold, people were burning fireplaces, and so you had smoke rolling in with the fog, which made it even worse. So it was like I was in a boat in a smoker, and you could not see in front of you. It got so bad. The ceiling on it, it was the fog. I took the light and shined up, and it stopped refracting at about 20 foot in some areas. Some areas is only 12 foot. Uh, so you think about it, from the water level, 12 to 20 foot high at any given time was nothing but this thick pea soup fog smoke combination. And it made it where you could not see. And when the lights on the boat hit that light and you had all that refraction, sometimes I couldn't even see the front of the boat. If I tried to use my spotlight, I couldn't see the front of my boat, and I'm just trying to put out as best I could, trying to get home safely. I would get a stretch where the turn of the river would have a different change in wind, and I might get maybe 25 yards before I couldn't see anymore. And in doing this, I was I was going extremely slow, and with my boat, I've got a 1980s model Mariner. It's a two-stroke, and if you know anything about two-stroke motors from that era, they hate to go at a very idle speed. That's one thing that they do not do well. And they're workhorses. They're powerful. They're hard to kill, but you put them at an idle speed, and that taxes them. And this thing was about taxed to the brim. And I'm trying to go as fast as I can, but still be safe as I can. So I'm just putting along at this slow, agonizing speed, freezing death. I'm sopping wet. If it wasn't for my Fioboc hoodie that I had on, the mint green hoodie, that, and you need to watch that video if you haven't, because that mint green hoodie, it's what saved my bacon. It kept me dry, but everything was sopping wet because that fog. It was almost like rain. It was so thick, and so everything else was sopping wet. I couldn't see, and I couldn't even see the front of the boat sometimes. And then all of a sudden, I came up, and there was this thing looked like that military cargo netting, like you see in the movies that they put over tanks and planes and stuff, especially around the Vietnam War era. They would put netting around stuff. Well, there was something that looked like that netting was wrapped around a tree or something other in the middle of the water. And I'm trying to see. I'm like, what is that? And I couldn't see anything. And I'm about to get up on it, and I'm trying not to hit it, but I'm trying to see what it is. Trying to see where I could get around it with the boat. And I'm going super slow. And about time that I did that, that thing I thought was a tree wrapped up with some netting or something other, it was about 30 wood ducks. And so you had hens and drakes that they were on the water, middle of the river, and when that boat got up on them, for whatever reason, they finally decided to take off at the boat. And again, because of light refraction, you couldn't see it, made it where visibility was next to nothing. And so they couldn't see. So I had ducks going like this in front of me in the boat and everything. It was crazy. It is probably one of the craziest events I've ever had on the river. But I wanted to share that before we get on to the next section, because I really don't think that I mentioned that properly, and I wanted to address that little story because it was just so strange, so odd. Uh, that I saw something a while back on a trip to Helen, Georgia. It was a thing of Sasquatch. It said, "Don't follow me, you won't make it." And there's been a few of these fishing trips where I want a shirt. I'm going to have my wife make me a shirt that says that. People call me Squatch, so I think it's fitting. Don't follow me, you wouldn't make it. That right there would have freaked out a lot of people. And just trying to make it back home safely on that river. That stretch is very shallow. It's very full of logs and everything else. It's a very dangerous stretch of the river. And then to have wood ducks take off like a shotgun right in front of you, yeah, especially in fog where you can't see anything. I didn't know if I was fixing to have a duck be skewered by a duck or what was going to happen. It was crazy, but I thought I'd share it with you. So about a week later, Ricky got freed up, and if you don't know anything about him, he's a knife maker on YouTube. Go visit Wallace Knife Works. Fantastic guy. He's been a friend of mine for a long time, and he's been dealing with prostate cancer, and he has been wanting to catch some crappie and some catfish before he started his treatments. Well, the first phase of treatments is just in a few days, and so we're going to do one last fishing trip before the treatment plan. Now understand, he's going to kick cancer's butt. We're not worried about that. It's just the fact that some of these treatments will drain you. And he's well aware of it. I'm well aware of it. It's not for the weak. But like I say, he's going to kick cancer's butt. It ain't going to be a problem. We'll be fishing before long. But before things got, a little taxing on him, we thought we'd go fishing. Well, you'll see what happens here. Here we go. Guys, we got a catfish. Live action, Did you turn on the net?
Yes, I think so. Okay. And that is a fine one right there, son. Look at there, what the channel says. Well, that's a blue.
I think that is blue.
That's a blue.
It's blue.
Look at there, what a fine catfish that is.
Look at that. That is gorgeous.
Yeah. Here you go. I think we got the net cam on. No.
Well, if you want to unhook him. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Got all excited, huh?
Yeah.
What, guys, that is a pretty cat right there. I don't care what you say, that's a pretty cat. Guys, we got another one online. Ricky's on phone with Stump, so yeah, we got another one.
All right, we have another fish, y'all. Let's get the
Whew. Yeah.
get the net cam on. What you got there, Ken?
Got me a catfish wrapped up around a stump.
A stump.
Yeah.
All right, hang on to give him a little slack.
There's the line.
Okay. We got the net. Y'all, this is always an adventure with us. It looks to be a good one too. No wonder.
Trying to.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, he is. Can't get under him.
Need a longer handle. Almost. There he comes, there he comes. Yeah, he's free.
He's free. That's not a.
That's a blackfish. No, he ain't free. Nah, that's a
bowfin.
bowfin blackfish. Sort of like catfish running, didn't it?
We are caught up.
Yeah, he's down in there. Something was off.
See that?
Now those
Here, hold on to that.
are not to eat, so. Not even good bait.
I want to put my hand down here. That's what it is. There's another line caught up in this. No, that was the other line. There's the older line. One of them ancient lines. Alright.
Wrap around that cleat, see if it's hot.
What?
Wrap around the cleat.
There we go. Guys, that is a bowfin. Whew.
That is a big one.
I haven't seen a bowfin since I was a little boy.
I haven't seen one that big in a long time.
Yeah. And this was an ancient line that he got wrapped up in. You can eat them, but it takes a lot to eat them. And I just don't want to eat them. I'll release you since you're native. Don't want to hurt you. There you go. Thank you. Well, guys, we have been sitting around waiting for something to happen since that last dogfish, cottonfish, grinnell, whatever you want to call it. Bowfin is what the technical name of it is. Till that got on, or after that got on, nothing's really happened. Nothing's been biting. We've had crappie minnows. Nothing wants to hit them. Ricky brought some shrimp, and so there's Ricky. So he had some shrimp and been fishing for that. Ain't caught anything on the shrimp since then. I think he's caught one bluegill, got that blue cat, and that's it. Water's been like glass all day, been gorgeous, not been cold. Sun's coming down. It's almost 4:30, 5 o'clock. Really, normally by now the fish have already stole the bait or whatever, but they hadn't even stole bait today. So something's happened. So I'll do a video to show y'all. 4:30. All right, so we'll see you later. Yeah, so the fishing on day 2 about as bad as fishing on the first day. I keep saying day 1, day 2, but they was a week apart. The day 2 or week 2 fishing trip, that was actually right before front. That was a south wind. I mean, everything was picture perfect. The water was clear as, or not clear, but as still as glass. It just got a glass finish on it. Hardly any ripples whatsoever. Not hardly any birds. I didn't see a lot of bait fish moving around. It was like a desert almost. It was weird. It was strange. We don't know why fishing has gotten harder. It may be because we got so many people moving into the area, they're depleting it. It could be that there's a lack of habitat because Fish and Game won't let you do a lot of things to create habitat, and they won't do anything. So it could be a matter of fact that the Fish and Wildlife Commission are just not stocking like they used to. They used to stock lakes and ponds and rivers, and they just don't do that anymore. They're not being good keepers of the environment, and I think that they're misusing the Pittman-Robertson Act funds, the funds that we sportsmen pay extra, and so we're not getting the benefits that we need to keep up the wildlife. But again, it could be pressure from everybody too. We're got a ton of people coming in, and they're taking out fish, and so fish have to have time to breed back and get more responsive. Another thing is that the Fish and Game Commission has put an administrative order banning the killing of any turtles in Florida over a virus that humans cannot contract. Anywho, the turtles do eat a lot of fish, and we have a lot of invasives that live in our waters that need to be killed out. And because of that order, you cannot kill them. You cannot harvest them. You can't do anything with them. You gotta leave them alone because of that virus that doesn't hurt humans. I don't understand their line of thought, but that is what it is. Now, if you want to know why I didn't do a catch, clean, and cook on this video, simply put, every time I do a cooking video, my analytics tank. And I'm trying to grow this to be a channel where I can have some income from it. And so what I've done is, I know that a lot of y'all want to see cooking, but some of y'all don't. And anytime some of y'all don't want to see something, that's when YouTube dings me. So for the ones that want to see cooking, I have a separate cooking channel. It's called Cooking with Ken. And I'll have a link to it in the description. I've also started a feather painting page, Feather Painting with Ken Johnson. I'll put a link to it there. But with that, we did cook it up. I'll have videos showing the catfish later. Ricky took the blue cat home with him, so he will probably have a video, so check him out. I'll put a link to his channel in the description as well. And so I'll have the catfish videos coming out soon on Cooking Channel. And I've been catching a lot of gar, and I've been saving that gar meat for something special, so be on the lookout at the Cooking Channel when I show how I cook up this gar. I think it would be in a way you've never seen on YouTube. But with that, I hope that you have a wonderful holiday season, since this is around time of Thanksgiving, and Christmas will be right along shortly. So I hope y'all enjoy the holidays. Love on your family best you can. Love on your friends best you can. And I'll see you again next time. Bye.